Hare Krishna, everyone.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Thank you so much for tuning in today. Last week we have concluded sixth canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. There are 18 chapters in the sixth canto. This week and next week we will try and summarize entire sixth canto. And then we'll move on to the seventh canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Okay. Let me offer brief prayers, Mangalacharan, and then we will begin the discussion. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshyurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Iti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadhi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. The sixth canto, as we all know, begins with the story of Ajamil. So how did we get into the story of Ajamil? Does anybody know why we got into story? What is the connection between fifth canto and story of Ajamil?
Parikshit Maharaj asked for proof of the name being eradicating all sins. And is that how Ajamil's story came about? Not sure.
Yeah. Actually, thank you for trying, Bhuvaneshwari Mataji. So in the fifth canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, in the last chapter, Shukadev Goswami described about hell's various hellish planets and suffering of living entities in these hellish planets. Being compassionate, Parikshit Maharaj questioned Shukadev Goswami, how one can escape going to hellish planets. So in response to that, Shukadev Goswami said, if one wants to eradicate one's sins, then one should, atone. One should try and, atone for their sins before they give up their body. So if one can atone for their sins, this is called, in English we call it prayachitta, for their sinful actions, then they can escape the hell. So Shukadev Goswami mentioned karma kanda process. How do you atone for your sins? Say, for example, you know, if one commits some sin, then you give some charity, some undergo some austerity, you know, take a dip in the holy place, holy river, fast, observe a fast, like this. So, Parikshit Maharaj, please hear very attentively. You know, there is very wonderful instruction. After hearing this, Parikshit Maharaj said he compared this atonement to an elephant taking bath in the river, coming out and putting dust on it, on the body again. So what is the use? Like, you know, they will sin and then they will atone. They will sin and atone. Sinning and atonement going on forever. But they are not coming out of that desire to sin is still there. So the karma kanda process will not eliminate the desire to commit sin. So Parikshit Maharaj rejected this process of sinning and atonement. He compared this elephant bathing. That's a famous example. Prabhupada also often quotes elephant goes and takes bath in the river, nice, and becomes fresh, clean, then comes out and simply throws dust everywhere. What is the use? So Shukadeva Goswami then he describes the process of jnana. Uh, and Shukadeva Goswami himself says, yes, this process of jnana, what it can do is it can destroy the sinful actions. And he gives the example of bamboo. Yeah. So when there is forest fire, the entire bamboo is, burnt to ashes. You don't see anything on the ground. So like that, it will destroy sinful actions, sinful reactions. But however, when there is suitable time, then the roots are inside the ground. When the rainy season comes in the spring and like that, so they germinate again. Bamboo again comes out because the root is there, the desire to sin is there, so they commit sinful actions again. So neither the process of karma nor the process of jnana can actually destroy desire to sin. And they will not be able fully eliminate the desire to sin from the heart of a human being. So then Maharaj, Shukadeva Goswami, then he tells only bhakti can completely avoid the tendency for sinful life. Other methods are not very good, not effective. The karma kanda, jnana kanda, they will not be able to eliminate the desire to sin from the heart. So to prove the strength of devotional service, Shukadeva Goswami narrates the story of Ajamil. So this is how the story of Ajamil comes into, sixth canto. So here, this is actually proving the strength of devotional service, how it can eradicate and how it can purify even the sinners. Then he says there is a place called Kanya Kubja. Currently, in modern, uh, a modern name is Kanauj. Kanauj is a town in the state of Uttar Pradesh. This was previously known as Kanya Kubja. There was a resident Brahmana by the name Ajamila. So he was trained by his parents to become a perfect Brahmana by studying Vedas, following regulative principles. But somehow or other, um, you know, he got attracted by a prostitute, and he associated with that prostitute, and he brought her in. He abandoned his parents, old parents, uh, and he started living with the prostitute and begot 10 sons in the womb of this prostitute. Mm? Um, and the last of whom was called Narayana. The 10th son he named as Narayana. And one day he was lying in the bed, and he he saw Yamadutas, the servants of Lord Yamaraj. They came there to take his soul away. So as soon as he saw these servants of Yamaraj, he got scared, and he just called for his son, and he uttered the name of Narayana. He called the name Narayana in fear because he was attached to his youngest son. So thus he remembered the original Narayana. Although he did not chant the holy name of Narayana completely, offenselessly, he acted nonetheless. So as soon as he uttered the name of Narayan, the order carriers of Lord Vishnu appeared on the scene, and they forbade the servants of Lord Yama taking the soul of Ajamil away. They threw a rope. They were trying to separate the soul from the body. Um, you know, these carriers, order carriers of Vishnu Dutas, they forbade, they stopped Yamadutas, the servants of Lord Yama. And there was a discussion, so the Vishnu Dutas, they said, what is religion? What is religion? Do you know who should you punish? Who should you not punish? Is everyone is punishable? What is your criteria for punishing people and taking people to the hell? The Vishnu Dutas, the order carriers of Lord Vishnu, questioned. And the order carriers of Yamaraj, they gave detailed explanation that every account is kept. They gives they in their narration they also mentioned that there are 13 CCTV cameras. The they all monitor. They were given here, like such as Paramatma, sun, fire, sky, demigods, moon, like this. They all monitor. So every account is kept. And, only the sinful people will be punished. And saying that, they mention, details the story of Ajamil little more. They further details the story of Ajamil, how he got attracted. And so initially he was so good, but later, he fell And so this is how they narrated, and began spending whatever money he had inherited from his father to satisfy this prostitute. He gave up the company of his very beautiful young wife. He had another wife. He had a wife, so he gave up as well. And she was from a respectable family. He lost his intelligence. He earned money somehow or other, regardless of whether properly or improperly, and used it to maintain the prostitute sons and daughters. And also, he was eating the food prepared by this prostitute. So, and then they say that this man Ajamila, did not undergo atonement for his sinful life. Therefore, he must be taken to the court of Yamaraj for punishment, according to, there, according to the extent of his sinful acts, will be punished and thus be purified. So no atonement. He did not undergo atonement for his sins. So this is what the order carriers of Lord Yamaraj mentioned. Then the Vishnu Duta. This was going on. This was the discussion. Ajamil was still awake on the bed. We will show you some pictures as well. Of course, we know the story. Everybody knows the story, but hearing it again and again will purify us. Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. So he saw this scene where Shudra was embracing prostitute, and that's how he became victim. And then here you can see he was lying on the bed, and you can also see the three Yamadutas and 4 Vishnudutas, and there is a discussion that is going on. He heard, he's hearing the conversation. And so then the Vishnudutas in the second chapter, they talk. What is this? What kind, of act you are doing? If the government is punishing good citizens, where can they go? So Ajamila is actually pure by, he is purified. He got purified simply by uttering the name of the Narayan. So he is not punishable. He has already atoned for his sins. What kind of justice are you giving? What is this? Simply by once chanting the holy name of Narayana, this Brahmana has become free from the reactions of sinful life. He has already undergone true atonement for all his sinful actions. If one atones according to the directions of the Shastras, one does not actually become free from sinful reaction. But if one chants the holy name of the Lord, even a glimpse of such chanting can immediately free one from all sins. So the Vishnu Dutas says that Ajamala, being completely free from all sinful reaction, should not be punished by Yamaraj. So Yamadutas, they don't have any argument here. They could not argue further. They simply left that place to report this incident to their master, Yamaraj. At that time, Ajamila, he he woke up and he was hearing this conversation, and he was about to say something to the order carriers of Vishnu. So they immediately disappeared from the sight of Ajamila. Ajamila then woke up and got up, and he actually lamented for what he had done. He repented. He said, so we can actually read a few verses, 47, 48. I'm shameless cheater who has killed his Brahmanical culture. Indeed, I am sin personified. Where am I in comparison to all auspicious chanting of the holy name of the Lord Narayana? Uh, um, you know, uh, I'm such a sinful person, but since I have now gotten this opportunity, I must completely control my mind, life, and senses, and always engage in devotional service so that I may not fall again into the deep darkness of ignorance of material life. Uh, um, so Ajamila repents. He remembers and repents. So this is if ever we make a mistake, we should repent and not repeat it. Mm. So that is, mistakes do happen now and then, some mistakes, but we should repent and not repeat. So he was uh, grateful to the Lord because for sending his associates, the other couriers of Vishnu, and they gave him the association. He got the association of Vishnu Dutas. And then Ajamil decided that he would give up everything and go to Haridwar. There, in the Haridwar, he took shelter of Vishnu temple and engaged in devotional service. So, and again, after a couple of years engaging in this way, he saw the same Vishnu Dutas. Again, they came there in the golden airplane. They took him, and Ajamila boarded that golden airplane and went to the abode of Lord Vishnu. Mm. So here, Ajamila was a Brahmin who, because of bad association, had given up all Brahmanical culture and religious principles. Becoming most fallen, he stole, drank, and performed other abominable acts. He even kept a prostitute. Thus, he was destined to be carried away to hell by the orders carriers of Yamaraj. But he was immediately rescued simply by a glimpse of chanting the holy name of Narayana. And so then Shukadeva Goswami says that this is the best method um, for purifying oneself. Um, So while suffering at the time of death, Ajamila chanted the holy name of the Lord. And although the chanting was directed towards his son, he nonetheless returned home back to Godhead. Therefore, if one faithfully and inoffensively chants the holy name of the Lord, where is the doubt that he will not return to Godhead? So here, Shukadeva Goswami says that his chanting was directed to his son. Nonetheless, he went back. But however, if he carefully chant, faithfully, offenselessly chant, you will get even better result. Why can't you go back to Godhead? He's questioning. So in the third chapter, It entitles Yamaraj instructs to his messengers. So after leaving, the Ajamil's place, and they went back. The order carriers of Ramraj went back, and they, reported the incident. This is the first time, someone had um, forbade them. And they were wondering, is there any other controller? Or, we thought you are the only one controller. Looks like there are other controllers. So Yamaraj then mentions, and he also glorifies that never approach devotees. Ajamila is completely, he is fully purified because of uttering the holy name of the Lord at the time of, death, when he was about to, die. So he also glorifies. So we can read a couple of verses here. My dear servants, please do not approach such devotees, for they are fully surrendered to the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. They're equal to everyone, and their narrations are sung by the demigods and the inhabitants of Siddhaloka. Please do not even go near them. They are always protected by the club of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And therefore, Lord Brahma and I, and even the time factor, are not competent to chastise them. My dear servants, please bring to me only those sinful persons who do not use their tongues to chant the holy name and qualities of Krishna, whose hearts do not remember the lotus feet of Lord Krishna even once, and whose heads do not bow down even once before Lord Krishna. Send me those who do not perform their duties towards Vishnu, which are the only duties in human life. Please bring me all such fools and rascals. Then he begs forgiveness from the Supreme Lord himself. Oh my Lord, my servants have committed great offense by arresting Vaishnavas such as Ajamil. So please forgive them. Please forgive us. Because of our ignorance, we fail to recognize Ajamil as your servant, oh my Lord. We offer our respectable obeisances unto you, Yamaraj says. And then Shukadeva Goswami glorifies the holy name. This is the best method for completely eradicating one's sins. And also desire to sin will also be eliminated by this process of chanting the holy names of the Lord. So Shukadeva Goswami says, further glorifies the holy names. And Shukadeva Goswami then says he had heard the story of Ajamil from Agastya Muni, and he narrated this confidential pastime to Parikshit Maharaj. Okay. So why did Shukadeva Goswami narrated the story of Ajamil? Now you can answer. Why did he narrate? Are you still there?
Came back as thing should perfection.
Sorry, I beg your pardon?
He came back as thing should perfection.
Yes. Yes. So, yeah, to show the strength of pure devotion to the Lord. The other processes, such as fruitive work and such as fruity work and speculative knowledge will not be able to eliminate the desire to sin from the heart. Whereas this devotional service, chanting of the holy name comes under devotional service. So to prove the potency of holy name or devotional service, Shukadeva Goswami narrated this particular pastime of Ajamil. Okay, so then we'll move on to fourth chapter. It is entitled The Hamsa Guhya Prayers Offered to the Lord by Prajapati Daksha. So after hearing the story of Ajamil, Parikshit Maharaj asked Shukadeva Goswami to narrate about creation. So then Parikshit Maharaj talks about Daksha. In the line of Priyavrata Maharaj, we we had seen Dhruva Maharaj, sorry, not Dhruva, but through Tanapada, Yes, Swayambhu Manu had two sons, Uttanapada and Priyavrata. So in the line of Uttanapada, there was Dhruva, and then after Dhruva Maharaj, his son Vatsara became the king. From there, in that line, we have also had kings like Anga, Vena, and Prutu Maharaj. And then we also had Prachina Barhi. Prachina Barhi had 10 sons. They are collectively known as Praketas. So when they were ordered by their father, Prachina Barhi, to beget children, so they decided to first render devotion unto the Supreme Lord. Then they want to get married and beget children. First execute devotion, purify senses, mind and senses. So we know that Prachetas, when they were going to perform this devotion, on the way they happened to meet, actually the Lord Shiva gave his personal audience, and he instructed them to chant one particular mantra. It is called Rudra Gita. And Prachetas, they submerged themselves. They are 10 in number. They submerged in the waters underground, under the water. They chanted this Rudra Gita, the mantra that is given by Lord Shiva to them for 10,000 years. After that, they saw the Supreme Lord. So, Supreme Lord also mentioned that get married to there is a gold called Marisha. Please get married and beget children. So when the Prachetas came out of the waters after 10,000 years of austerity, they saw when they came out, everything was full of vegetation. Everywhere there were trees. Because what happened was, after they left for forest. Is their father Prachina Barihi ruled only for some time. Then he also left for the forest. So there was no ruler, and the entire earth was covered with full of vegetation, plants, trees everywhere. So when they came out, they saw, and they decided to burn, destroy these trees, and they produced air and fire through their mouth. and try to destroy these trees. That time, the king of the moon, Soma, he looks after all the vegetation. So he forbade Prachetas to destroy the trees, and to satisfy them, Soma gave them a beautiful girl called um, um, Marisha. She was born of Pramlocha and Kandumuni. So anyway, they got these Prachetas. They got married to this girl called Marisha. So they Prachetas begot one son in the womb of Marisha, named Daksha. He is the same Daksha we had seen him before in the fourth canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, beginning of fourth canto, where Daksha offended Lord Shiva. So because of his offense at the lotus feet of Lord Shiva, he lost his head, and he got a goat head in the second birth. His head was replaced with a goat head, and he came to his senses after getting the goat head. He offered wonderful prayers, but that offense was not nullified. He had to take birth again. So this time he was taken birth as a Kshatriya. That time he was a Brahman, son of Brahma that time. But this time he became the son of Prachetas, administrative class. So his duty was like, to increase the population. He tried to create, he created demigods, demons, human beings, but however, when he found the population was not increasing properly, he just, decided to perform some austerity, went to Vindhya mountain, and where he underwent severe austerities, and he offered special prayers to please Lord Vishnu. These prayers are called Hamsa Guhya. And so he pleased Lord Vishnu, and Lord Vishnu appeared in the 8-armed form, and he also mentioned that that Daksha should marry a girl called Asikni, a daughter of Panchajana, and he'll be able to beget children and increase the population. So let me show the picture of this 8-armed form. So this is Ajamil's story. He was Ajamil was boarding the golden airplane. So this is, Yamadutas. This picture depicts Yamadutas went back to Yamaraj and questioning, inquiring about how Ajamil, was purified, and why Vishnudutas forbade them not to take to Yamalok. This is where Daksha went to Vindhya mountain and offered beautiful prayers called Hamsa Guhya. And here you can see Lord appeared in the 8-armed form. So Daksha now got married to this girl called Asikni. And in the womb of Asikni, he begot 10,000 sons. Prajapati Daksha had begotten 10,000 sons, and they were all of the same character and mentality. So they were collectively known as Aryashvas. So Prajapati Daksha ordered Aryashvas, 10,000 sons, to actually create more and more population. But the Aryashvas, just like Prachetas, they decided to go to forest and meditate. They went to the place the river Sindhu meets the Arabian Sea, and there is a lake called Narayana Saras. So there, these Aryashvas, they decided to meditate and worship the Lord, engage in penance. So Narada Muni decided to convert them into, full-time renunciates. Daksha was, Daksha's main purpose. Daksha ordered them to get married and increase the population. Daksha ordered them to enter into Grihasthashram, household life. But Narada Muni, he saw these boys engaged in severe austerities. And then he thought, it is better to release them from this cycle of birth and death, fast track the, entry into Vaikuntha. So Narada Muni, he taught them ultimate goal of life, and not to become ordinary good households, and just to beget children. So they all became enlightened, and they never returned to Daksha's home again. So they followed the path of renunciation and bhakti. So Daksha was sad that, his 10,000 sons now took the path of renunciation and bhakti. They are not entering into Grihasthashram. So he begot 1,000 more sons in the womb of his wife Asikni. So these were named Savalashvas. They also engaged in worshipping Lord Vishnu to beget children. But Narada Muni again convinced them to become, mendicants, not to beget children, and follow the path of his elder brothers Aryashvas. So these Savalashvas, 1,000 sons, followed the path of their elder brothers, and they also never returned home. So Daksha became very angry, and so Narada Muni, he decided to go and see. This preaching happened in the forest, right? Narada preached the sons of Daksha in the forest, far away from Daksha's residence. But after instructing them to follow the path of full-time renunciation, renunciants, he went to see Daksha. Daksha became very angry, and Daksha, you can say, blasphemed, criticized Narad like anything. So the tendency is still there. He offended Lord Shiva, and he's also offending Narada Muni. So Then he cursed Prajapati. Daksha cursed Narad, saying that I curse you that you will not have any residence. You will be moving all over all the time. You will not have a proper residence. Prabhupada writes, because Daksha is an expert householder, for him, residence is a great asset. So, but for sannyasis, it's a boon. No residence is a boon. Roaming from one place to another place, they can preach. So the question can be asked, why did Narad go and see Daksha after instructing his sons? He could have just left from the forest itself. But Narad knew that Daksha, had that anger. Daksha needs to vent that anger out. So that's why Narada Muni went there to hear. Let him, just speak, and then become free of his anger. That was his mood. But Narada did not curse back. He just accepted the curse. And, for him, it's a boon that he can just go around and preach. Prabhupada also says that, although he has many centers, he'll be moving from one center to another. So he says that many, the parents of his young disciples have cursed him that, you will not have a residence in one place like that. Prabhupada was saying in the report. Okay, so now, next in chapter 6, Daksha decided to beget daughters, not sons, because Narada Muni led them toward the renounced order of life. But you would not do that to the daughters. So he begot 60 daughters. And let me show the picture, then I can explain better. Oops, not that, this one. So we have seen this in the womb of Hasipni. Daksha begot initially 10,000 sons, later 1,000 sons. So as we discussed, they were led to the path of order of renunciation by Narada Muni. Then he begot 60 daughters. And these 60 daughters were given in marriage to various demigods. 10 daughters were given to Yamaraj. Kashyap received 17. The Soma moon god received 27 daughters. These 27 daughters, they are nakshatra stars. So moon god spends just over a day with each wife. So that's how 1 month he completes by spending just over 1 day with each wife. Moon god was actually attached to Rohini. All these 27 daughters or Dakshas, 27 daughters are actually Dakshas given to moon god. But however, moon god was very much attached to one of the daughters named Rohini, wives named Rohini. The other daughters, went to their father and complained about moon god, and Daksha cursed him. As a result of that moon god could not beget any children. So we'll just look at this Kashyapa and and some of the daughters of their progeny. We will look at it now. Kashyapa is the son of Marichi. So you can see that with Patangi, Kashyapa begot many birds with Yamini. These are all the daughters of Daksha. Locustus, and there is another daughter named Vinita. She's also called Suparna. She begot Garuda, the carrier of Vishnu, and she also begot Anuru, or Aruna sometimes, the driver of chariot, the sun god's charioteer. So, and there is Kadru. She became the mother of many serpents. Like that, all the living entities came through Daksha's daughters. Then we have Kashyapa and Aditi. There are 12 Adityas. They begot famous. And here comes Vivaswan. And in this also we have Urukrama. Our Vamandev is also son of Aditi. So while describing the sons of Kashyapa through Aditi, so you mentioned there are 12 Adityas. The famous sons of Aditi are Adityas. And one of the Adityas, names of the Aditya was Twashta. So this Twashta is the son of Aditi, demigod, but he got married to Rachana. She is actually the daughter of Daityas, demons. And they begot two sons. Twashta begot two sons in the womb of Rachana, who is the daughter of Daityas. So who are these two sons? Sannivesha and Vishwarupa. So Shukadeva Goswami, while describing the descendants of the daughters of Daksha, he tells this, and then he says, although Vishwarupa's mother, Rachana, is the daughter of demons, demigods accepted Vishwarupa as their spiritual master. So then Parikshit Maharaj asks, how and why, how come the demigods accepted Vishwarupa as their spiritual master? They always have a spiritual master, Bruhaspati. And moreover, if they want to accept a spiritual master, they can accept someone else. But why Vishwarupa, whose mother is, Rachana, and who is the daughter of demons? So Maharaj Parikshit asked, these questions, Shukadeva Goswami narrated how demigods accepted Vishwarupa as their spiritual master. So that's how we entered into, let me see, chapter 7. This is how we entered into chapter 7. So Indra, once upon a time, having a very nice time. He was surrounded by all his associates, such as Siddhas, Charanas, Gandharvas. They were praising him. He was seated on a nice throne with his wife, Shachi Devi, fully surrounded by material opulence. That time, Bruhaspati, spiritual master, entered the assembly. Indra, being too absorbed in this material opulence, He forgot himself and did not respect Brihaspati, did not offer obeisances to his spiritual master. Knowing this, seeing this, Brihaspati disappeared from this place immediately. He became aware of Indra's pride and he immediately left that assembly. A moment later, Indra realized his offense. Indra came to his senses. He became most repentant and understanding that because of his opulence, he had forgotten to respect his spiritual master. So he left the palace to beg pardon from his spiritual master, Brihaspati, but however, Brihaspati could not be found anywhere. So great offense at the lotus feet of his spiritual master, Brihaspati. So because of this disrespectful behavior towards his spiritual master, Indra lost all his opulence. Demons occupied the throne. That time demigods took shelter of Lord Brahma because they could not find their spiritual master anywhere. So they went to Brahma, took shelter of him. Brahma said, okay, in the absence of your spiritual master Brihaspati, you approach Vishwarupa and accept him as your spiritual master. And he also warned them, because Vishwarupa mother is the daughter of demons, he may be inclined, he will be inclined towards demons as well, but you should ignore that. So they approached Vishwarupa, and Vishwarupa agreed to be their spiritual master. And Vishwarupa, he has 3 heads. So he performed several sacrifices, yajnas, and then thereby they actually regained their throne and the powers back and the opulence as well. So the opulence of the demons, who is generally known as enemies of demigods, was protected by the talents of tactics of Shukracharya. But Vishwarupa, who was most powerful, composed a protective prayer known as Narayan Kavacha, a shield, Narayan Kavacha. And he instructed this special mantra, protective mantra called Narayan Kavacha to Indra, and thereby he took away the opulence of demons and gave it to Indra. So the 8th chapter talks about Narayan Kavacha shield. Basically, it's a mantra that you chant for protection. You utter different names of the Lord to protect various parts of your body. So this mantra was given by Dadichi to Vishwarupa's father, Twashta. Okay, Dadichi gave it to Twashta. Twashta gave it to his son, Vishwarupa, and Vishwarupa instructed to Indra so that he can be protected all the time. So Indra, receiving this mantra and repeatedly chanting, he became quite powerful, and nobody could defeat him, and he regained all his powers. And this is how he performed 100 sacrifices and enjoyed all the opulences of the three worlds. So up until then, it's nice, but now Vishwarupa, he was, little inclined to the demon side because of his mother. What he was doing was, he was also chanting some special prayers for the benefit of demons, and he's also supplying the remnants of yajna. So when Indra came to know that Vishwarupa is secretly doing this and trying to favor the demons, Indra, out of anger, cut off the 3 heads of Vishwarupa, his own spiritual master. He offended his spiritual master by not offering obeisances earlier, and now he killed Vishwarupa, his spiritual master. And as a result of that, he incurred sinful reactions. He suffered for 1 year, and then to purify himself, he distributed the reactions of this sinful killing among earth, water, trees, and women. So 1/4 was accepted by earth. As a result of that, you see deserts on the earth, and water accepted 1/4 of sinful reaction. As a result of that, the foam is formed, and trees, they produce sap, and women, they have this menstrual cycle for accepting this sin. So you distributed the sin among these 4 things. And so because Vishwarupa was killed by Indra, Vishwarupa's father, Twashta, became very angry, and he performed a sacrifice to get a son who would be able to kill Indra. But while offering prayers, he chanted one of the mantras, not properly. He uttered one mantra with a long sound. So instead of getting a son who would be able to kill Indra, you will have a son who would be killed by Indra. But however, this is a powerful person. So from that sacrifice performed by Twashta, Rudrasura appeared, gigantic. Rudrasura means covering everywhere, entire sky, with a trident. So he appeared from the sacrifice of Twashta. So he basically, all the demigods, they ran away from the heaven, and even Indra, all other demigods, they could not fight with this demon Vrutrasura. He was so powerful. He was just swallowing the weapons. Whatever they threw, just he would swallow. So now they don't know what to do. In this condition, they approached Lord Vishnu. So Lord Vishnu said to them that you approach Dadichi. Dadichi became so powerful by chanting Narayana Kavacha mantra every day. So you ask for his body, with his bones will make thunderbolt. With that weapon, you'll be able to kill Rudrasura. So they asked Dadichi, and Dadichi initially says, no, but later offers his body. So that's how this chapter ends. So let's see. Yeah, so we'll stop there and continue the rest of the 9 chapters next week, and after that we'll move on to Canto 7. So thank you very much for being here. Really appreciate it. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
everyone.
Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhuji.